I'm telling you, this is the album to get right now. The name of that song, I'm the Boss. The artist is Bree. Bree looks like she stepped out of a 50s pinup magazine, and she rocks like nobody's business. And Bree's on the line with us right now. I hope, anyway.
Yes.
Okay, good. You know, Bree, when I saw this CD, when it came across my desk, and I'm listening to all the new releases, I look at the back cover and I see you, and you're standing on top of a stand-up bass, and I saw your look and everything, and I thought to myself, well, you guys must be like a rockabilly act or something, And I wonder, because obviously you're not, as evidenced by the song we just heard, but I wonder if people do get that impression.
Everyone thinks we're going to be rockabilly because, they see the stand-up bass and they see the Stray Cats, and I love surprising people. I love shocking people. It's one of my favorite things to do. I like them to come to my show not expecting what they get. Because, Mark McNeely, he's my bassist, they expect him to be, rockabilly bassist, except he has a special setup on his bass. And so his, he uses steel strings instead of the gut strings, and so it sounds way, thicker and ballsier. And he really puts a roll in my rock. And I love that, People tell me all the time, they're like, oh, yeah, you look like a really cool rockabilly band. I'm like, come to a show.
Right.
Go on iTunes, go get All American Girl, and then, we'll talk.
Yeah, by the way, we should also mention that for everybody, that they can get the album on iTunes, and I guess they can they get a physical copy of it?
Yes, June 18th, our album will be sold in Best Buys and FYE, and also on Amazon and all the other online stores, so keep an eye out.
Very cool. Yeah. I have to say, the album blew me away when I first heard it. And I'm jaded, too. I'm one of these people, I get so many records in, and I'm like, oh, please.
Oh, man, it's so safe nowadays. It's so safe.
It is.
I mean, it's my turn to come into the scene and shake it up and get people off their butts and say, hey, wake up. This is what's happening.
That's it. I think you came out to take over all of our lives, Bree. That's what I think is happening.
I'm here to rule.
Yeah, you are here to rule. Well, let's continue the reign of Bree with another song off the new CD. This one's called Forbidden Fruit. That was Forbidden Fruit from Bree, our guest this week on That Modern Rock Show. You're based in, is it Nashville that you're based in?
Yeah,
okay.
I'm based in Nashville. Mm-hmm.
Would you consider your performances a little off-kilter in terms of what's happening in Nashville, or is there something happening in the water there that we don't know about?
Nashville really surprised me. Whenever I moved here, I was expecting it to be, exclusively country. And the crazy part is there's this amazing underground rock thing happening here that, the world is finally taking notice of. And some amazing bands are coming out of here. And it's incredible how much this city has embraced me. And, in November, I won Raw Nashville Musician of the Year, which was a total blindsiding, experience. Sure. I was shocked I was even nominated because I was not only the new kid in town, but I was, I'm a rocker, and I was the only rock and roll nominee. And I think the people here, they just sincerely love music. And if it's good, they love it. And they want to have a good time. So when they heard, when they hear good stuff, they grab onto it and they talk about it. So this town is truly Music City, completely in every sense. There's every genre here, not just country anymore.
What about when you first discovered music? What were you listening to?
Oh, goodness. I was a strange child. I was so, at 3 years old, I was passionate about rock and roll. And I remember being in the back seat of my father's car, kicking my feet, listening to Humble Pie, I Don't Need No Doctor. I loved that. I loved them, and I loved The Who and the Beatles and Bowie during the Mick Ronson days and
Sure.
Spiders from Mars. And I loved Buddy Holly and Patsy Cline and Eddie Cochran and also The Clash and the Ramones and I love Green Day. I have so many influences.
And all of those acts you mentioned, well known for melodic rock and roll, and I can hear it in your music. You have very, very strong melodies on this album.
Thank you. I'm obsessed with melody. I like things to get stuck in people's heads because I love songs getting stuck in my head. And So I kind of like to torture other people with that too.
But I will say, let me say this. I am in total agreement with you because I've often said this, and people will debate me and say, well, there's style and there's mood and there's this and there's that. And I say, yeah, that's all fine and good. But if you don't have a good melody, you've really got nothing.
It's true. It's true. It's got to stick in their heads so that they want to listen to it over and over. And you want to be remembered by people. You want people to feel something.
We did mention how Nashville is not all country music, but I can hear a little bit of that in your voice.
I was raised singing gospel music, and my mother was born in Odessa, Texas. So I was raised with a little bit of, each parent was totally different in their musical, preferences. But I kind of took, from both. I don't know why. It's on accident, I assure you. I know. Sometimes I hear it, and I was like, oh my goodness, I sound so twingy there.
By the way, the album it's a self-titled debut album, correct? Just Bree?
Well, actually, it's All American Girl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little different than the advanced copy we've got here.
Yes, that's we're also changing the cover with that Vargas photo of me, and it's going to say Bree, All American Girl.
That's right, folks. If you want to see Bree looking very glamorous, and you can, by the way, see that photo on the Facebook page. Not that you don't look glamorous in all your photos, but especially in that one.
Also on the iTunes. If you go to iTunes and you look up All American Girl, you can purchase that track, and you'll see that photo there too.
So they can go to iTunes, and they can also go to your Facebook. And is there an official website at all, or just the Facebook right now?
Yes, I've got the Facebook and the Nashville.com/Bree. It's got all of my press, pictures, videos. It's got everything there. All the info.
Before we go, can you just tell us a little bit about the song Whiskey and why you chose that one to sort of, make a video for and sort of announce yourself that way?
Well, it's a part of my personality. That song was about a terribly dysfunctional relationship.
Yeah.
Basically, the guy I was dating only was interested in me whenever he, was drinking. Great for the self-esteem, right?
Yeah. I hope that's over.
It's gone. That's why he's an ex. But yeah, it was terrible, but it made a big impression on me, obviously, and so I thought I gotta write about this. This guy really tore me up. But I chose this song because it was very sexy, and as dysfunctional as that was, it was interesting, and it was a turn on. Because once he did drink, I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting down tonight. And that video was shot in the Standard, which is one of the oldest standing buildings in Nashville. It was shot in the ballroom. And I love cigars. I'm an avid cigar smoker. I'm careful about it because of my voice, but I love my cigars. And that room had, I felt like my personality, all the reds, the warm colors, and, guys smoking cigars and drinking whiskey. And I just thought it was a really, really fun part of my personality. And I wanted to put that sultry, little, sultry little kitten thing out there. I think the next one's going to be a little more wild.
Well, this jerk was worth it because he inspired a great song.
I know, right?
You can look at it.
He's not going to know who he is. That's for sure.
Well, I hope there wasn't a long string of these various guys who were drinking whiskey that they wouldn't know which. Oh, okay.
I do learn from my lessons.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad you're at a better place now. Although I have to wonder, though, if you're in a happier place, I wonder, there is that theory that when terrible things happen to you or frustrating things, that you get better songs.
It's so true. I mean, I had a hellish life. I was raised in a Christian cult. And, from the age, when I was 6, my mother died from swallowing a needle. So, they believe in faith healing and stuff, and I just lived a very, hellish life. I had a stepmother who was very physically and verbally abusive to me, and I was homeschooled and thrown out in the street at 17 for having a boyfriend. So I was really thrown into the world with not much experience, and I learned everything the hard way. And, between stints of moving everywhere and periods of homelessness, it was just, I learned a lot. I went through a lot, saw way too much. And so I've got a lot to say.
Wow. You certainly do. Well, look at it this way.
Yes.
You're here to take over our lives.
I love that.
Well, thanks so much for coming on, Bree. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been fun.